Hello fellow FPL managers and welcome to this week's FPL video focusing on game week 15. And remember, it's a really quick turnaround because they play tomorrow and Wednesday night, so there will be 2 videos this week. Anyway, we'll be reviewing game week 14 and the players who I had suggested to avoid, pick and take an outside risk on. Then I'll look at how my team did in game week 14 before moving on to this week's transfer. Then we'll look at my game week 15 starting lineup and who I think will be the best players to avoid, pick and take a risk on for game week 15. This was perhaps my worst predictions of the season so far for game week 14, no thanks to a lacking Spurs display in the North London derby. After seeing the starting lineups, I felt even more confident, but an Aubameyang brace within the first hour completely destroyed that. Harry Kane did manage to pick up 6 points and another North London derby goal, however, to stop it being a completely wasted week. As for Zaha, I was right about Palace piling the pressure on Burnley, however Zaha himself could not get amongst the points, which is sort of the story of my season so far. Speaking of a story of the season so far, and it's the same old bang average week for yours truly. I seem to do very well defensively, but I'm always let down, especially by my midfield. Hazard was the only one with a decent haul out there, but you'd expect that from your captain at home to Fulham. The rest of my midfield did sod all, with Martial not even starting this week, but Shaqiri at least has still managed to keep his place, but is not finishing 90 minutes. It was the perfect week for my defence, however, with the 3 playing defenders all picking up clean sheets, and Duffy on the bench picking up a goal and 10 points, which did not give me nothing for this week. So talking point of the week, I would say, would be Aguero missing out entirely for Manchester City, and he's looking like he's going to miss a Watford game in midweek as well. Arnautovic was part of a convincing win at Newcastle, picking up assists, but overall, again, it was a really average week. So as for this week's transfer, it's probably not a surprise. It's been earmarked for the last few weeks, and it's out with Shaqiri and in with Felipe Anderson. Now, this is a transfer that I said I'd make if Shaqiri didn't play. And he has actually been playing, but not 90 minutes, and he's not picking up the points. And I was tempted to swap him for Martial, but I do believe Shaqiri, because he's not playing 90 minutes, will again sooner or later start to miss out in that starting 11 side for Liverpool. And I'm hoping Martial will be put back in to the starting lineup for game week 15. I went with Felipe as well, not just because of his own form, but also because of the nice 7-game fixture run that West Ham are about to embark on. But to be honest, if there is a team in the Premier League who likes to stuff up a nice run, it's West Ham United. Moving on to my starting 11 for this game week, and it's almost identical. In goal sees Foster trying to keep out one of the world's best attacking sides in Manchester City, so good luck with that this week. And the back 3 remains the same, with Wan-Bissaka off to Brighton, Robertson is on his way to Burnley, and Alonso, who was surprisingly subbed in game week 14, off to Wolves. Moving on to the midfield, and I believe this is the game week where everything changes, where the middle of the park may earn me some serious points. Everton pair Sigurdsson and Richarlison are at home to Newcastle, with the latter taking the captain's armband for this week. New signing Felipe Anderson plays at home to Cardiff, while Hazard travels to the Molineux with Alonso to face Wolves. Finishing off the 5 is Martial, who is at home to Arsenal and will hopefully be back in the United starting 11. Up top sees Arnautovic at home to Cardiff, whilst a doubtful Aguero stays alongside him. On the bench, I've moved Duffy up a place instead of Rondon to be my first choice sub. He has a home tie against Palace, and I preferred him over Rondon going to Goodison Park. I am expecting Aguero to miss out, like I said before, but I'm keeping him in the starting 11 because you never know. With Pep, he might end up playing 90 minutes this week, but it's looking like it's going to be Gabriel Jesus, so I might be playing a 4-4-2, which I'm perfectly fine about. Finally, I'll be looking to make a comeback, a better prediction for game week 15. So let's see who I've chosen to avoid, pick and take a risk on this week. So for my player to avoid, I'm going to go with Mane. Perhaps a surprise given the shocking situation Burnley find themselves in, whilst a last gasp Merseyside derby winner for Liverpool should further boost their confidence. However, I just think that they will struggle away to Burnley on a cold Wednesday evening, especially a player like Mane. Cold winter temperature plus a physical game in Lancashire midweek might not just be Mane's cup of tea. Also, this game feels prime for Burnley to turn it around and snap out of that poor form and turn Turf Moor back into a fortress. My player of the week is going to be Harry Kane yet again. So I picked him last week due to his great record in derbies against Arsenal. However, this week's reason is much more straightforward. It's a home tie to a poor Southampton side who have just sacked their manager Mark Hughes, and the Spurs players will be itching to get back on track in their hunt for the top 4 following their poor result against Arsenal in game week 14. This is a chance, for the Saints to get their magical, immediate boost following a sacking. That happens sometimes with a team out of form when they sack their manager. They get this amazing inspiration to do well, but I cannot see much magic happening for the Saints against Spurs this week. Finally, let's look at the player on who to take a risk on this week, and I think I've got to go with Javier Hernandez. He's been largely ignored since his return to England. However, he was key in a great 3-0 win at Newcastle, and Chicharito will be looking to cement his place in the starting lineup with a home tie against Cardiff. And I honestly think this, if he isn't started midweek against Cardiff now following 2 goals on the previous weekend in game week 14, then I would genuinely expect him to be leaving West Ham during the winter transfer window. So that's it for my look at game week 15. There should be another video out before the end of this weekend as well for game week 16, because it's like a double game week. So please be on the lookout for that. And if you enjoyed this video, maybe leave a like, a subscribe, or maybe share it around. It's completely up to you. And let me know in the comments below, who do you think is a player to avoid for game week 15? Let me know in the comments below. And as always, have a good one.